All right, today's lesson is we're moving to Unit 2, and we're going to talk about evaluating functions. Now, evaluating functions means that I'm going to figure out what value a function gives us, okay? So it's kind of like if you put a 2 in for x, it's the value of the equation. If you put a 2 in for x and you multiply or add or divide, whatever the function might look like. So let's look at one right here. We have 3 functions, 1, 2, and 3 to start on the first slide. And this one says given f parentheses x. Now that is function notation. Take your pencil right here and on your paper kind of indicate that that right there is basically a new label. It is not mean that I need to do something. Those parentheses on the left do not mean multiply f times something. This is, I'm sorry? It's this one right here? Here are some extra, here's a set of notes. She does have them. Okay. All right, so everybody has the notes. New label. So instead of having a function f of x, or that's what we say, f of x, it's f of x. Basically that means that I have a function, and I'm going to call it a function, and it has an x in it. It's what we used to have, we'd say y equals f5x plus 9. So it basically takes the place of the old y equals. So it's a new updated version of y equals. All right. Here's all we need to remember to do. Whatever is in parentheses, circle this on your notes. I want you to know that that represents a new input for x. What you see in parentheses is going to be a new input for x. Okay? So we know that the left-hand side is a new label. We do not multiply or do anything to the left. We just keep the label. Okay? So we're saying the function has an x in it. So what does it equal? It equals 5 times x plus 9. Does everybody see what I'm saying? Okay. And at the end, it's actually telling me to do something new. So, this is going to be f of, not x anymore, but f of what? 8. So what that means is I have a new input for x. Okay? I'm going to take my function, and I'm going to put an 8 where x used to be. Does everybody see that? So x became the number 8. So on the other side of the equals, guess what? X is going to become what? The number 8. It's a new label. We're not doing anything that we haven't done before. We have put numbers in for x in the past. Okay. So the function with 8 in it is going to equal 5 times 8, which is 40. 40 plus 9 becomes what? 49. So the function with an 8 in it gives me an answer equal to 49. This is a new label. What happens is this gives you a what? New input. And this basically tells you what your answer is. Or your output. Okay? If this is the first time that you've seen function notation, it does look different. It's just a new label. In the past, you would have said y equals 49. Today, we're just saying f parentheses 8 equals 49. So this is just a new label. What this does, this gives us the advantage of knowing what number did we use to get the answer of 49. Well, the new label tells me I used an 8 to get the answer of 49. Okay? Now, let's just jump in and do another one. We have a new function. Do you remember, if I had said 10 minus 2x, and I said, what if x equals -1? What would I do with -1 if this had been written like this? Would I put -1 in for x? Right there? And when I would have got an answer that said y equals. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Okay, so what you used to do with y equals is the same thing we're really doing here. So let's just finish that. Y would equal what? 2 times -1. That makes that like a -2. So that's going to be 10. What is negative 2 times negative 1? Positive 2. So what does y equal? 10 plus 2 would equal 12. What you would call y equals, we're now going to call x, f of x. F of negative 1 equals 12. This is the old way, and this is today's new way. All right, let's move on then to number 3. All right, find f of negative 4, which means the function with a negative 4 in it, if it equals 2x minus 7. So I'm going to basically take f parentheses x, and now the x is going to become what? Negative 4. So negative 4 is my new input into the function. That's my new number I'm going to put in here. So it's going to be 2 times what? Minus 7. What's the number I'm using? So negative 4 goes in here, and negative 4 goes in here. So it is my new input into the function. It's just a new way of writing it, but it's really not a new way of finding an answer. Okay? It's a new way of writing it. It's a new label is all it is. Okay? If you had seen the answer y equals 12, would you have known by just looking at y equals 12 what number you used to get the answer of 12? No. But if I saw f negative 1 parentheses equals 12, I would know I used a negative 1 to get that answer. So I'm just trying to make sure that you understand this is a new way of looking at functions or equations or, things, but it's really not, you're not doing anything totally brand new. I'm putting a number in for x and I'm solving it. All right, so the function at negative 4 equals 2 times negative 4, which is negative 8, subtract 7. So the function at negative 4 equals negative 15. Okay, I'm trying to talk my way through it as I go. Yes, sir.
So that is your final answer.
It would be my final answer.
So you don't do nothing with
No, sir. Nothing on the left. That's just a new label. I do not change anything on the left. My function with 4 in it, and everything I do is on the right. Okay, I'm not doing anything on the left. It's just a label. Okay, it's just a label. I'm not doing anything on the left. I'm doing everything on the right. All right, let's go on to the next one. I'm sorry. All right, number 4. The charges for Smarty Pants Tutoring Company is given by the function f of x equals 50 plus 10x, where x represents how many hours? X represents what? Hours. Underline X. Underline hours. You have to know what the new input number's got to be. It cannot be a random number. It's got to be an hours number. Does everybody get that? Okay. So the function is at x. It's 50 plus 10x. But whatever number I put in here has got to be a what? It's got to be an hours number. All right. So the next question says, how much do they charge for what? 10 hours. So guess what my new input needs to be this time? Exactly. So that means x is going to equal 10. So now it's going to be the function at, what's my new x again? Function at 10 is equal to 50 plus 10 times, and it's going to be 10. Yes. Yes. So that's once we read that statement, we knew what x was going to be in parentheses. That's 10 times 10. Yeah. So 50 plus 10 times 10 is 100. So the function with 10 in it turns out to equal what? 150. So apparently, the meaning of this is for 10 hours of work, the tutoring company is going to charge me $150. So function notation is not really doing anything brand new. The calculation part's all on the right. It's just understanding that something new might be written on the left. Is it getting a little bit easier now as we're doing a few more problems? Okay. Number 5. Verizon charges according to the function Okay? F of x is 2.5x plus 35, where x represents what? Circle x.
The number of
Circle represents what? Minutes. So
so
x, pay attention, make sure you know what x is. X represents what? Number of minutes. You talk on your phone. How much would your bill be if you talk for what? 47 minutes. So is this going to be my new x? Okay. So the function with x in it is 2.5x plus 35. Now it's going to be what? The function with what number in it? All right. So this is going to be a minutes number. So whatever goes in here has got to be what?
47.
Whatever goes in place of x is a minutes number. So 47 goes here and 47 goes here. Yes, I do think today is a day you need a calculator because I can't do that in my head. Would you like to? No. Everybody has a calculator, so there's no reason why everybody can't go through the motions of getting the problem. What is 2.5 times 47 plus 35? How much? 152. And 0.5 would be what? So the 40 for 47, the function at 47 equals 152.5, or 47 minutes would equal $152.50 bill. I'm trying to make sure that you understand that now we can actually talk about it and it have meaning. The number in the parentheses has a meaning. The number you get as an answer has meaning. All right, we're going to go on then to number 6. Number 6, the function f of n, so this time it's an n. F of n is equal to 10n minus 2. Could be used to have the total number of hours Callie has studied for n weeks of school. Yes, I started it again. I am recording. All right, here we go. What does n represent? What? I didn't say a number, but what? In what? In weeks. Circle n, underline weeks, so that you're focusing on what n represents. So, whatever function, when I do f of n equals 10n minus 2, whatever number I put in for n has got to be what? It's got to be a weeks number. Okay, that's what the function says. It's got to be a number of weeks. So when I read the problem, do I have a number of weeks?
Yes.
How many hours did Callie study between the week what? Week 10 and another what? Week 13. I've got 2 weeks number in this problem. Does everybody see that? So it's like I want to tally up. It's like I want to think of, well, for 10 hours or for at the 10 weeks mark, by the time she's been in school 10 weeks, if she studies consistently all the time, the same amount all the time, how many hours would she have worked? And if we had let, 11 week go by, 12 week go by, when we got to 13th week and we calculate how many hours she'd worked, could we figure out the difference? How many hours did she work between this week and this week? We could. So what we need is we need to use what? Use an n of what? 10. And an n of what? 13. So I need to do the function with a 10 in it first. Let's do a function with 10 in it. Okay. 10 times what? 10 minus 2. Does everybody get it? 10 is my new input, so 10 goes in wherever n goes. There's a 10 right here. I don't do anything on the left. I do everything on the right. So how many hours did we work? How many hours had we studied up through the 10th week? 98 hours. So if I was kind of tallying it over here, I'm at 98 hours by the time I've studied 10 weeks at school. Is everybody good? Am I finished with my problem? No. I also have to do what? The function for 13. Okay? So this time I'm going to put 10 times what? 13. Then minus 2. I think that's 130 minus 2. 128, he says. So that'd be 128 hours. Am I finished with my problem yet? No. Now you got to subtract them. Because it says between. Between means like a difference. So if I'm doing between, I have to find the difference. So how many hours had she worked between week 10 and week 30? She'd worked 30 extra hours. So that'd be 128 minus 98. So she worked 30 hours. Put a big circle or a big box around 30. 30 is the answer we're looking for. Not 98, not 128, but you had to have those two to get 30. Yes, sir. Go real quick. All right. Wait, I think I made Bryson hang on, so let him run first. I didn't let him go when we first started because I wanted him to stay here for a few. When he gets back, that way I'm trying to be consistent. Let's move on to 7. Let's read it carefully. The function f of x is equal to 5x minus 4 could be used to find the total number of minutes Jessica has stayed after x days. What does x stand for? What does x stand for? X is what? Days. So whatever number I use here has got to be a what? It's the number of days. Whatever number I put in for x has got to be a days number. You got to know that first, so make sure you tune in on that. How many minutes did Jessica use between day 12 and what? Day 16. So I need to use what? X of 12, and then I need to use x as what? Day 12 and day 16. So I'm going to have to do f of 12 and f of 16. And then it says how many minutes did Jessica use between. This is like the last problem. So it's like on the 12th day, how many minutes? On the 16th day, how many minutes? And then it's saying how much between. So go back and grab your function. 5 times 12 minus 4. 5 times 12 is 60 minus 4 is 56. Did y'all get 56? Yeah. All right, 16. 5 times 16 minus 4. Got a calculator. Everybody's got one. 5 times 16. 76. So you're right. Between 56 minutes and 76 minutes, we are what? 76 minus 56 is 20 minutes. 20 minutes is my answer. Does everybody understand what we're doing? Okay. If they give you 2 different days and they're saying how many between this one and this one, then you have to be able to do 2 in subtract. We don't have too many more to go, do we? One more. Okay. Let's move on to number 8. The function f of x is equal to 2x plus 2 represents how many peanuts Mr. Patterson eats at a baseball game. Where x is the number of what? Put it away, Christina, please. X is the number of what? Innings. Number of innings. You got to make sure that you look for the right number for X. How many peanuts did Mr. Patterson eat between the 3rd and the 8th inning? You know how you grab peanuts out of a little bag or something, you just crunch on them and you shell them out and whatever, and you throw the shells down. You ever done that? Either a restaurant or a ball game? Okay, we sell peanuts here. So this is the 3rd inning, and then it would be the 8th what? Inning. So what do I need? I need the function at 3, then I need the function at 8. And then it says how much did he eat between, so I have to do a difference. I'm going to have to subtract. But I have to get 2 answers first. So at the 3rd inning, be 20 times 3 plus 2, yep, 62, good. And 20 times 8 plus 2, 162. Man, he's really liking those peanuts, isn't he? You ever sit mindlessly eat peanuts? You can eat a lot of peanuts. If you really like them and you're hungry, you can really go through a lot of peanuts. All right. So how many did he eat? 100 peanuts. 100 peanuts. Number 9. Number 9. Suppose the function represents the cost to download. What's X stand for? X has got to be a songs number. Songs number. X has got to be songs. So whatever number goes in here has got to be a song number. Let's see. So he's going to join a music club, internet. Arthur now has $10. How many more dollars does Arthur need to buy 60 songs? Now, is this the correct one or is this the correct one? Because this time I have two different numbers. Or are both of them right? Read. Read. Look at phrases. What does X have to be? Songs. So the only number that can go in for X has got to be a songs number. What is 10? Is 10 songs? No, that's $10. Guess what? That is not what you put in there for X. Okay? That is $10, not 10 songs. Okay? Does everybody get that? So you do not put 10 in the equation. But what about 60? Yeah. 60 is a songs number. So that's the one I need. So f of 60 would be 0.1 times 60 plus 7. So 60 here, my new input. Figured out? Guess what? 13 is not my final answer. I want to see if you can read. Let's read the last page. Let's read the last two sentences. Read this for me. Arthur, $10. Maybe he had a birthday. Maybe he earned the money. Maybe mom and dad just give it to him. How many more dollars does Arthur need to buy 60 songs? What does this tell us? The function for 60 songs equals what? 13 bucks. He needs 13, but he has what? 10. How many more dollars does he need to be able to buy all the songs he wants? 3. Does everybody get that? So in this case, it would be $13 needed. He needs 13. $10 is what he has. So if you subtract, you need what? $3 more. $3 more is your final answer. Does everybody get what we just did? Okay, so is function notation really all that new? No, it's just a new label. Do nothing on the left. Okay, do all of your work on the right. Just make sure whatever number you put in for X is the right number you can put in for X.